All right, so let's talk about oracles. Things like tarot cards, horoscopes, the I-Ching. Most of us think of them as fortune-telling, right? But today, we're going to look at them in a completely different light. We're diving into a fascinating idea from clinical psychologist Santiago Duran, who says these aren't about seeing the future. They're actually powerful keys for unlocking our own unconscious minds.
I mean, have you ever had that weird feeling? You get a tarot reading, maybe just for fun, or you skim your horoscope and it's just spot on. It feels so weirdly accurate, like it was written just for you. It happens to a lot of us, and it makes you wonder, is this magic? Or is there something else going on here? Something way more personal?
This quote from theater director Enrique Vargas just nails it. He said, "When you consult an oracle, you will receive the answer that you didn't know you knew." That phrase right there, the answer you didn't know you knew, that's the whole mystery we're unpacking today. It hints that the wisdom isn't coming from the cards. It's coming from inside us.
So what if we just flip the whole script? What if these so-called magic of oracles has nothing to do with predicting your fate and everything to do with revealing what's already inside your own head, your own thoughts, your fears, your hidden desires? This is the big idea we're digging into, that oracles can be understood through psychology.
So, how does this actually work? Well, to get our heads around it, we've got to talk about the brilliant psychologist Carl Jung and his really cool, mind-bending concept of synchronicity. Honestly, this idea is the key that unlocks everything.
So what in the world is synchronicity? Well, Jung called it the Acausal connecting principle, which sounds super academic, I know. But all it really means is when two things happen that seem meaningfully connected, but one didn't cause the other. It's like a coincidence that's so significant, so packed with meaning, that it just feels like it can't be random chance.
Let's break that down. We're all used to thinking in terms of causality, right? Event A causes event B. I push a glass, it falls. Simple. But synchronicity is different. Event A is your inner world, your question, your worry. And event B is the totally separate external thing, like the tarot card you just pulled. There's no physical string connecting them but your mind. Your mind creates a powerful connection based purely on meaning. And get this, Jung saw this happen in real time. He studied the I-Ching, and he wrote that the answers it gave often coincided with the questioner's psychological blind spot remarkably well. Wow, think about that. The oracle wasn't showing them the future. It was acting like a mirror, reflecting a part of their own psyche they just couldn't see themselves.
Okay, so that's the big theory, synchronicity. But what does it actually look like when you're, say, sitting with a deck of tarot cards? Let's walk through the actual psychological process that's going on.
It's almost like a little four-step dance. So first, you've got some question or feeling bubbling up inside you. Second, you get this external symbolic prompt, a random card, a strange line in your horoscope. Third, your brain, which is an amazing pattern-finding machine, immediately gets to work and builds a bridge of meaning between what's inside you and that symbol outside. And finally, bam! An unconscious thought, something you didn't even know is there, pops into your conscious mind. That's the aha moment. Now, if this whole idea of making the unconscious conscious is ringing a bell, it totally should, because that's not just some spiritual concept. It's one of the primary goals of psychotherapy, especially psychoanalysis. And here's where it gets really, really interesting. A tarot card, like the Tower for instance, has a fixed general meaning. But that one single symbol can work in the exact same way as a psychoanalyst's single carefully chosen phrase. It's a prompt, a key designed to unlock something much, much deeper. This quote from psychoanalyst Luis Fernando Orduz is just perfect. He says he can use the exact same phrase, "seems like you are talking about your mother," with 100 different patients and get 100 completely different, incredibly profound, and deeply personal reactions. The prompt is generic, right? But the insight it sparks is anything but. It's the same principle as the tarot card. So when you lay it all out like this, the parallels are kind of stunning, aren't they? In an oracle reading, you have a fixed symbol that sparks reflection. In therapy, you have a therapist's words that spark free association. But look at the goal for both: insight, catharsis, making the unconscious conscious. They're both paths to the same destination. And that catharsis, that's the big emotional payoff. It's that feeling of release when an emotion or a thought you've been pushing down finally comes to the surface. And that quiet, reflective state you get into when you're looking at a card or reading a passage, it's the perfect environment for that release to happen, leading to a brand new understanding of yourself. So what's the big takeaway for you in all of this?
Well, it means we can start thinking about oracles in a totally new way. Not as these passive things we consult about our fate, but as an active toolkit for having a really deep and meaningful conversation with ourselves.
You know, as Santiago Duran points out, the way most people approach oracles is a little passive. We ask, will I get the job? Like we're a kid waiting for a parent to give us the answer. The more powerful, more active approach is to totally reframe the question. Don't ask what's going to happen. Ask what the oracle's answer reveals about you right now. Like, what does this card tell me about my own anxieties around this job?
So, next time you pull a card or read a horoscope, try asking questions like these. Instead of looking for a simple yes or no, use that symbol as a jumping-off point. Ask yourself, what feeling is this bringing up for me? How does this connect to what I'm going through? Use it to start a conversation, not to end one.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. The goal isn't to find some magic, unshakable truth that's handed to you from the universe. It's about using these ancient, symbolic tools to kickstart a meaningful, insightful, and sometimes even difficult conversation with the deepest part of your own mind. It's a gateway to knowing yourself better.
So we'll leave you with this thought. The oracle isn't the magic mirror, you are. The answers aren't out there in the cards or the stars. They're already inside you, just waiting for the right prompt to come along. So knowing that the real power is and always has been within you, what's the first thing you're going to ask yourself?